Situasi semasa wabak ini memerlukan tindakan drastik dan untuk itu kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan.
COVID-19 global pandemic has reached Malaysia on January 25, 2020, with the first confirmed cases involving a traveler from China. By mid-March, the virus has spread rapidly, prompting the government to impose the movement control order on March 18, 2020, marking the start of the national effort to combat the virus. The MCO brought strict restrictions, including business closure, travel bans, and also school disruption, profoundly altering daily life. As cases surged, the government adopted aggressive testing and contact tracing measures, significantly slowing down the spread by the end of 2020. In early 2021, the National COVID-19 Immunization Program began, aiming for herd immunity.
Kerana hari ini saya telah pun menerima suntikan vaksin COVID-19 yang pertama di negara kita. Saya yakin bahawa vaksin ini cukup selamat dan berkesan. Kalau tengok keadaan saya setakat ini, Alhamdulillah.
By the end of 2020, over 80% of the population is fully vaccinated, drastically reducing hospitalization and also deaths. This effort really showcases the resilience of Malaysia's healthcare system. COVID-19 has tested Malaysia's strength as a nation. Through strict policies, effective vaccination campaigns, and the unity of its people, Malaysia continues to recover, striving towards a more resilient future.
The COVID-19 pandemic had a profound impact on entrepreneurs, creating both challenges and opportunities. The disruption led to widespread business closures, but it also spurred innovation and resilience among entrepreneurs. Here's an analysis of how the pandemic affected entrepreneurship. First of all, business closures. Second, supply chain disruptions. Lastly, reduced consumer spending.
Assalamualaikum, saya Balkis ingin mendemu ramah anda tentang kesan pandemik COVID-19 terhadap perniagaan anda. Okey, selain pendapatan, apakah kesan lain yang menyebabkan perniagaan anda menjejaskan perniagaan anda?
Dalam dari segi ini menjejaskan ekonomi, modal kami tak dapat pusingkan modal untuk perniagaan seterusnya, untuk hari-hari seterusnya. Jadi kami pun perniagaan terjejah juga, macam ada yang tutup untuk yang beberapa jangka masa lah, untuk yang nak dapatkan pusingan modal tu balik.
Employment and livelihood. Based on the news, we know that the pandemic, COVID-19 affects the labor market. The pandemic led to a surge in the unemployment rate in Malaysia. During March 2020, labor force participation rate is 68.6% and the unemployment rate is reaching 3.9%. Based on the data from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, we know that the number of labor force in March 2020 is 15.8 per million, which will decrease 0.2% compared to February 2020, 15.87 million. And the unemployment rate was increased to 3.9% in March 2020, compared with 3.3% in February 2020. Based on the data, the highest unemployment rate since June 2010, which is 3.6%, but the unemployment rate during March 2020 is higher than June 2010. It reflects that MCO brings negative impacts on the labor market. This was largely due to economic shutdowns, especially in sectors that relied on physical operations and human interaction. Based on the data from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, we could see that the unemployment rate of 3.9% in March 2020 is just a starting point during MCO. It would be increasing higher and higher. The number of unemployed during April 2020 is 778,800 persons, compared to 610,500 persons in March 2020, has a bigger increase by 168,300 persons. Many households, especially in the lower income group B40, experienced significant income declines due to pandemic COVID-19. Some of the middle income households M40 also slipped into B40 categories. There are some planning by the government to create more employment opportunities in Budget 2021. 1. The Skim Jamin Pensionan Pekerjaan initiative will be launched. 2. RM2 billion will be allocated to Nijana Kerjaya, a hiring incentive program under Perkeso. 3. RM 1 billion will be allocated to implement the reskilling and upskilling programs. 4. To encourage Malaysians to upskill and explore new areas of employment. The scope of relief for tuition fee will be expanded. 5. With an allocation of more than 700 million Malaysian ringgits, the government will be introducing MISTIP short-term employment program.
Government response to cushion the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Pakej prihatin ini akan menyediakan bantuan segera untuk meringankan beban yang ditanggung oleh anda semua.
On March 27, 2020, when announcing the RM250 billion Prihadin package to support micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to retain their employees, the Prime Minister announced an additional budget of RM1 billion to cater for medical needs, such as the purchase of equipment and services to overcome COVID-19. The ministry also received support from the insurance sectors, both conventional and Islamic insurance, whereby a RM8 million fund was set up to bolster COVID-19 testing. Each policyholder could go for a screening test worth up to RM300 in private hospitals and laboratories. Other than that, policyholders with financial problems and disruption to their income as a result of the MCO and coronavirus outbreak were given a 3-month deferment on their policy payments. The government also showed its gratitude to healthcare employees by increasing their monthly allowance from RM400 to RM600 per month beginning April 1, 2020, to be continued until the epidemic ends. At the same time, the government has also agreed to extend a special allowance of RM200 a month to military, police, customs, immigration, civil defense personnel and RELA members who are directly involved in the implementation of the MCO. This allowance will also be paid from the 1st of April, 2020 until the end of the outbreak. An estimated 169,000 additional employees will benefit from this.
The price pressure had been driven by specific items. Those constituting about 20% of the CPI basket, some of the most market price increase were those of essential and frequently purchased per item such as fresh chicken and eggs. February began with the success of vaccination campaign and stimulus package such as the Prihatin and Penaja Plan, which injected over 300 billion into the economy. The government prioritized sectors like green energy, healthcare and technology to drive growth. Despite challenge, Malaysia is on a path to recovery. GDP growth rebounded in 2021 and 2022, supported by strong export demand and domestic consumption. Efforts to attract foreign investment and support SMEs have been critical in creating jobs and fostering resilience. While the scar of the pandemic remains, Malaysia's recovery journey is a testament to the national resilience. Together we can build a stronger and more inclusive economy for future generations.